To you, the new Volkswagen Golf may not look more aerodynamic than a Porsche 928. But then, you're not a bug.
The game. Some just play it, others own it. The ones who own it see what no one else sees and know what no one else knows. Nobody knows the game like Topps. Topps gives you the players you want, the stats that matter, and pictures that tell the whole story. Own Topps, and you own more than a card. You own the game.
To soothe athlete's foot, to relieve the burning, the itching, Desenex does it. But to cure athlete's foot, to kill the fungus that causes it, Desenex does it. Only Desenex has UDA, proven to both soothe the itching and burning and cure even tough athlete's foot cases. To soothe and cure athlete's foot, Desenex does it all. And for jock itch, Cruex is the #1 cure. Cruex cures jock itch.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste,
you know, I've been looking for that.
The world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Any car with airbags will help protect you in a head-on collision. The new Volkswagen Golf has airbags, crumple zones, and side impact beams, so it can help protect you from any angle, including this one.
Here in Toronto, the Maple Leafs lead 3-0 after 2. Tonight, Vancouver and Dallas are playing at Reunion Arena. We're going to join bonus coverage of that game with the Canucks leading 2-0 in the second.
In the second period, Ledyard races up after the loose puck, fires it towards the net, and a glove save is made by McLean. McLean got into some trouble, but Linden coming back cut off a centering pass intended for Klatt. Here comes Bure. Bure dodges a check, then pokes it to the corner. It's knocked right back out by the Stars.
Well, fatigue was a bit of a factor in game one. Vancouver with a tough 7-game series. It wasn't a big concern for the Stars, but now all of a sudden Vancouver is well rested, and fatigue starts to leave the picture until this series wears on.
Klatt leaves it for Ross Courtnall. He tried to flip it in front for Modano. It was broken up and cleared. 17:40 remaining in the second. 2-0. Vancouver Canucks lead. Pass was beyond the reach of Klatt, and this will be an icing call against Dallas.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
And Vancouver continues to lead that game at Dallas by a score of 2-0. The Canucks trying to take a 2-0 lead in that series, with the next 3 to be played in Vancouver. This is game 2 of this series between Toronto and San Jose. And after 2 periods, the Maple Leafs lead the Sharks 3-0.
Well, the Leafs have a stranglehold on this game, and they've had a couple of chances throughout the second period. San Jose hasn't come up with very much. Wendell Clark taking the puck around the back of the net, doubles back the other way. Mike Gartner's going to score a great goal here. In between two Shark players, he scoops it up and over the shoulder of Artur Zerbe. Then a shorthander by Osborne. You can see the decoy, which is Gilmore, in the middle of the ice. Osborne will hold on and simply shoot the puck, and it's really difficult to tell. I think it still goes under the arm of Urbe. You can see how upset he is with himself. Then a breakaway for Wendell Clark, and watch the save Artur Zerbe will make with his right leg. He'll move to his left, and then, whoa, he's gone right. Look at that stretch. A perfect splits. Great job by Artur Zerbe. Then at the other end of the ice, in the dying seconds of the period, Felix Potvin, who hasn't been tested much, will come up with a great split save of his own, shooting out the right leg to make a big save to keep San Jose from scoring a goal. Potvin still has the shutout going.
He's made 14 saves. We'll have third period action from Toronto on the Deuce right after this.
Do you know me? You may not recognize me without my hair. I'm Cy Sperling, Hair Club's first client. And since 1968, I've helped thousands of men with thinning hair. If you have thinning hair, this booklet is something you should have. It covers transplants, weaving, fusion, minoxidil, and proper hair care. So call our toll-free number now to get your free booklet. You saw the difference it made for me, and look what it did for our clients. So call our toll-free number now to get your free booklet.
Technology is changing the way we communicate, and Cynthia Rozier is at the forefront. She's technical supervisor for AT&T and a DeVry graduate.
I started at a local college. Then I transferred to DeVry. Understanding where communications will be tomorrow takes a specialized education.
DeVry bachelor's degrees in business and technology put you in touch with the needs of today's companies.
DeVry connected me to success.
Call anytime, 1-800-247-7800. DeVry, we're serious about success.
Everyone's always asking me, hey, Mike, what's it like being a goalie? Let me put it to you this way. Get the picture?
ESPN2's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Burger King. Value every day. Have it your way. By Corona and Corona Light. Change your latitude with Corona and Corona Light. By Armor All Rain Dance. Rain Dance Light and Dark Car Formula Polish. And by Desenex. Desenex kills athletes' foot fungi before it turns ugly. And this hasn't turned ugly yet, but it could for the San Jose Sharks the way it has been going. The Maple Leafs lead 3-0, and they've controlled the game in virtually every area. Shots on goal, scoring chances, face-offs, power plays, all in favor of Toronto, although the shots were even in the second period. Both the Sharks and the Maple Leafs had 11, but San Jose is a team that doesn't generally play aggressive all-out offense. They like to counterattack for their chances. Do they have to abandon that style in the third period down by 3?
I don't think they can change anything at this point. They're not a type of team that can adapt in a great way offensively. You're exactly right about that, Sean. I think what they have to guard against is kind of throwing this game or saying, well, we're down 3-0. Let's not worry about it. We'll do the same thing as we did in Detroit. If that starts creeping into your thinking, you're in big trouble. And I think Kevin Constantine's too smart a guy to let his team slip into that mode. So he'll be looking for a solid effort. I don't think he cares so much about the score at the end of the game. Certainly he would like to win, but he wants to see the right things being done still in his own zone, fewer turnovers, and try to capitalize when they do get some scoring chances.
Both teams on the power, or rather in full strength. Tough for both to be on the power play.
Good trick.
Yes, if they could pull that off, we'd have something. Both at full strength as the third period begins. And it's Rouse shooting it off the glass, kept in by Baker, and he flipped it in high and wide of Potvin. Cleared out by Dmitry Mironov, who scored the first Toronto goal in the first period. And as Cronin touches the puck, it's an icing call. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. The only goal in the first period, Mironov on a 4-on-3 power play, his second of the playoffs from Elwood and Gilmore at 8:06. Then an even strength goal at 9:31 of the second period by Mike Gartner, his second of the playoffs and first of the series from Gill and Clark, made it 2-0. And Osborne's shorthand goal at 13:29 of the second period from Gilmore and Elliott made it 3-0. So they've had a power play goal, an even strength goal, and a shorthand goal for their 3 goals tonight.
San Jose always says they want to play 5-on-5 whenever possible. They don't like the odd man attacks or the power play situations, and it's shown here tonight. One shorthander against them and one power play against them. Things have not gone according to plan.
Peter Zezel getting ready to move in and take the draw with Igor Larionov. Another face-off won by Zezel. And McCowan couldn't move it out. Ozelich kept it in. Now it's McCowan again. And he's happy just to slide it out to the red line. Handled there by Jeff Norton. Norton spins back into his own zone. Native of Acton, Massachusetts, out of the University of Michigan. Graduated with a degree in sports management and communication. Bird forces Larionov back into his own zone. And the fans appreciate the forechecking of the Maple Leafs in the first minute plus of the third period. Norton pinned against the boards by Sylvain Lefebvre. Now it's McCowan. Age 32 in his 11th season in the NHL. Opened his career with Calgary, played on the Flames Cup-winning team in 1989. Lefebvre up the boards. And we have penalties coming up here, and Norton and Osborne want a piece of each other. I believe they're going off for matching penalties. They wanted to go at it for round 2, and Ron Finn, the linesman, broke it up.
Yeah, this was all away from the play. The puck was on the near side boards, up and down and back into the corner. But it was Norton and Osborne out in the middle of the ice, kind of jousting at each other and taking shots, free shots at one another. So now they'll both cool their heels for a couple of minutes. And by the way, that penalty box, I walked in there. I hadn't sat in there in a long time. It's been a few years since I sat in the penalty box in Maple Leaf Gardens. It's like a phone booth. It's the worst penalty box in the NHL. This building's pretty old. And in the old days when you used to get a lot of bench clearing brawls, there's barely enough room for 2 guys in there. You'd have 8 or 9 guys in there, but boy, you might as well put a phone up in there. It's exactly like being in a phone booth.
Both penalties were for slashing. Well, you never spent much time in that penalty box anyway. That must have been a bad call by the referee if you ever wound up.
Absolutely.
Well, the team skates 4-on-4 now. Gilmore with the puck out there with Andrechuk. This is Andrechuk, who had the feed from Gill. Gill now at the defenseman for Toronto. Fortunate bounce for the Leafs. The puck went toward Gilmore, but he couldn't catch up with it. Krupa couldn't bang it out past Andrechuk. Gilmore in along. Off to Ellett, he shot it over the net. Had Irving down and out. And couldn't put it home. Salvage play by Gilmore. Perhaps if he had ripped off the backhand with Irving prone, he might have been able to score. Ellett, the drive, pad save, Andrechuk, the rebound, and it went wide. And 4-on-4 has been kind to the Sharks for the first 45 seconds. 17:35 remaining in the third period. 3-0 Maple Leaf. Gilmore a move, and his pass was behind Mike Gartner, speeding toward the net. Mike Gartner forces Roselinch back. Roselinch scored 26 goals during the regular season. Only Al McInnes of Calgary had 4 goals in the NHL this year. As a defenseman, he had 28. 43 seconds left in the matching penalties for slashing. Norton and Osborne. And a leg check and a tripping call here as Zezel was sent flying by Moore, who stuck the leg out, and tripping is the call. The Sharks will be shorthanded.
Jay Moore in the penalty box for tripping. He got a piece of Peter Zezel. Zezel tries to sidestep him right here. He's got his head up. You can see him coming. He puts on the brake, sidesteps, and the air is a stick. That's a pretty easy call. Zezel's airborne. Good chance for Toronto Maple Leafs deep inside the zone. Arturs Irbe makes a smart play. Look at Gilmore going from net. Look at Irbe. He can read the play well, too. He came out and challenged Gilmore. Gilmore lost control of the puck. He made the smart play backwards. Ellett wasn't able to get the shot that he wanted, but that shows you how quick and how smart Doug Gilmore is, and how unselfish, too. You pointed that out. He had a chance, but I don't think a real good chance, Sean, on that backhand. Irbe had done a good job of anticipating and getting right into space right away, taking away Gilmore's shot, so he went to plan B. Gilmore did. Got the puck to Ellett. Ellett shot it over.
So a 4-on-3 power play. 35 seconds. That'll become 5-on-4, barring more penalties. We played 3 minutes in the third period. Toronto still leading 3-0. San Jose does not have a shot in this period through the first 3 minutes, despite the 3-goal deficit they face. Ellett kept it in. In the corner, Gilmore. Gartner sets up out in front. Veering off the other point man. Ellett moves away from Duchesne. Ellett walks right in. Goal! Doug Gilmore makes it 4-0.
Well, the big guy comes through for the Toronto Maple Leafs once again. A couple of assists in this game. Now a beautiful goal. But look at Ellett. Ellett does all the work. Hangs on, waits for Gilmore to get in place. An easy one for Doug Gilmore. Here's another look from down low. Ellett's looking in the middle of the ice all the time, waiting for an opening. Gilmore's in place. Irbe went for that big split save again, but his legs just weren't long enough or high enough. Gilmore saw probably what happened to Wendell Clark. He went upstairs enough. Even if I think if Irbe had gotten that leg over quick enough, it would have gone over top. Gilmore is no fool around the net. He made sure on that one.
His first goal of the series, third of the playoffs. And Toronto comfortably in command now at 4-0 with 16:25 left. Both teams at full strength. Power play goal at 3:25 for Gilmore. Gardner shoots it in wide of Irving. Off the far boards, Norton. Ahead for Ellick. He stumbled while crossing line. Ellick forced to play it back to Krupa. Seems like San Jose has play it back into its own zone all night. Ellick, the only assist on the power play goal by Gilmore. Second power play goal of the night for Toronto. See why San Jose wants to keep it 5-on-5. Two power play goals. They've also spread a shorthanded goal. Ellick looking for help as he crosses the red line. And now the blue line. Ellick still with it. Off for Dahlin. Dahlin takes it to the forehand. He's got the flip into the corner by Gill. Gardner, crisp pass to Clark. Clark couldn't get around Jay Moore. Banks it back to the Toronto line. Todd Gill there to play it off to Nikolai Borshevsky. Mironov for Gilmore. Shoveled ahead intended for Clark. Borshevsky instead. Borshevsky intended to flip it in the corner. Clark gets off as Toronto changing personnel. Borshevsky to steal. He goes around the net, trying to wrap around. Irving waiting for it. Here comes Ford, leading the San Jose rush. The Sharks still do not have a shot in the third period. We've played 5 minutes. Andrew shot. Played it through Whitney. Baker able to work it out. Ford had lost his stick. The Sharks, some of those racquetball strings that go around the wrist. Dropped a lot of sticks tonight.
San Jose's game hasn't changed at all. It doesn't matter what's going on. Right now, them down 4 goals. This defensive shell that they're in, which is usual, it just shows up as a lack of offense.
Gilmore not slowed by the bad ankle tonight.
We have just one word for the new Whopper Jr. at Burger King. Bigger. You already know it's flame broiled and fixed your way. But the one thing you didn't know is that the Whopper Jr. now has 50% more beef. And cause we figured one great improvement deserved another, the new Whopper Jr. is just 99 cents every day. The new 99-cent Whopper Jr. at Burger King. We may not be the world's #1 fast food place.
Welcome to Burger King.
It just tastes that way.
What's the next thing, Dion? Soccer, anyone?
Must be a fan.
Powerade. It's not the old thing. It's the next thing. And that's a good thing.
Should have worn my helmet.
Powerade. The next thing.
Toronto's ahead 4-0 in this game, thanks to Dave Ellitt's great work. He'll come into your screen on the right. Good diversionary work by Gardner, number 11 in the middle. There's Elliott right there. He's going to make the pass right across the goal mouth. And here's Doug Gilmore. Irbe will do everything he can to get across, but it simply won't be enough. There's the pass, and bang. Gilmore got it up off the ice. That was a big secret there, too.
The only shot on net tonight for Doug Gilmore in his first goal. He also has 2 assists. He's been in on 3 of the 4 Toronto goals. And the Leafs in control 4-0 with under 15 minutes remaining. 19 minutes plus on the very sore sprained right ankle for Gilmore. And now McCowan is sore as he blocked the shot of Garpenlov, and he's still down. Now he's on his knees, and Don Koharski stops the play for him as the Sharks retreated to their own zone.
Ouch, those ones hurt. Either got him right on the side of the foot or right on top of the foot. Jamie McCowan limping to the bench. He was down for a couple of seconds and managed to struggle up. At the whistle, Don Koharski gave him the benefit of the doubt, and you can see he's still in a little bit of pain. It happens basically right off the face-off. Puck's dropped there. Great low-angle shot. That's great look at it. Right after that is when the shot will come towards number 34 at the bottom of your screen there. He drops down on it. And I think that hit him. It may have hit him in the knee. I thought it hit him in the foot. Nonetheless, he's hurting, whatever it is.
Plenty of playoff experience for McCowan and the Leafs. Collectively, the Maple Leafs have more than 1,100 games of playoff experience, while the Sharks have fewer than 400.
McCowan and Lefebvre have played so effectively together the last couple of years since Jamie McCowan came to Toronto. They are always paired up against the top offensive line no matter what team is playing.
And there's a trip. Berg stuck the stick in and upended Garpenlov, and they'll get Irbe out of the net for the extra attacker with a delayed penalty. Norton weaves through center, off for Ozolich. Garpenlov sends it in, and Falloon is there. And lost it as Ellen plays the puck. The call made. Tripping against Berg. And there have been a lot of those tonight. A lot of easy calls with trips right out in the middle of the ice. In plain view of Don Koharski. This one comes at 6:05 of the third period, and the Sharks get their first power play of this period. They're 0 for 5 tonight.
Well, San Jose would dearly love to get a goal, and they'll have a chance at the power play. There's Berg on the tripping call. So San Jose will have a chance to tee it up. Lots of time in the game, but you can tell that San Jose doesn't have much of a clue of how they're going to muster 4 goals offensively to get something going.
Down the Molson Ice League leaders, we check the playoff point leaders to this point with his 3 tonight. Doug Gilmour has tied Igor Larionov for the NHL lead. Each scored 12 points in the playoffs. The league leaders brought to you by Molson Ice. San Jose on the power play. Some of the time runs off as the puck was shot the length of the ice by Bob Rouse. If San Jose has any chance, it really needs to establish something and score a goal on this power play. Still, the Sharks have not officially been credited with a shot in this period. Here comes Gilmour shorthanded. Irbe way out. And Gilmour had a lot of net to shoot at, but he went to the spinorama. He lost the puck. Goodrow. Rink wide Ellen. Back to the line Peterson. Trying to touch it off of Goodrow and to play it behind the net. Whitney. For Dolan. He's shoved by Rouse. Tried to beat Goodrow. Rob had to chase him to the neutral zone. Minute 13 left in the San Jose power play. Dolan into the zone. Krushelnyski will steal. Threw it high in the air. Krushelnyski hasn't played very much. Nor has John Cullen. You have to think there's a player who doesn't fit into Pat Burns' plans who could help another team with his scoring ability.
San Jose at this point is really struggling to get any offensive chances. Even though they're on the power play, they're still around the fringes. They're not penetrating the middle of the ice. They're not getting the field contact, and they're looking pretty tired right now. There's still 12.5 minutes to go in the third.
They played virtually from the start tonight as though they'd be very happy just to get on the plane and go back to San Jose with the series tied at 1. I haven't seen the typical spirited San Jose effort out here tonight. But it's 4-0 Toronto with 22 seconds left in the power play and 12-13 left in the game.
And those guys in the white shirts deserve an awful lot of credit for that attitude that San Jose has right now. Toronto has played a tremendous defensive game. We talked a lot about San Jose's defense, but Toronto has it too, and they've shown it all night.
Garpenlov for Larionov. On the box comes Berg. The Leafs back at full strength. Ozolich looking for a tip. Garpenlov didn't realize it. Now Berg just out of the box. Osborne one-timer. It was under Irbe. He swept it toward Gilmour. Tried to connect with Ozolich, but missed him. Larionov, blind, balloon. Turned it over to Gilmour. It's about the most up-and-down action we've had in this game with the defensive nature of these two teams. Steal, and here comes Eastwood. In alone, save Irbe. Still no shots in the third period for the Sharks.
What do you need to be the best?
Starter. Every time I go out there, the adrenaline starts pumping. The chills running down my spine. I'm scared. Whoa. Talent can only take you so far.
You always have to be motivated yourself.
You gotta have something inside. A burning desire to go out there and compete every night. You need to do everything it takes. No matter what. Stopping at nothing. I'm not gonna stop. That's the nature of the beast. Score that touchdown just to hit him go crazy. You have to love it. Starter.
What do you need to be the best?
Everything you got. It's up to you.
Hey, everyone likes to go out and have a good time.
But if you've had one too many, here's a few suggestions to combine with your night out.
Like calling a cab.
Counting on a friend.
Designating a driver.
Or hey, do what we do. Take the bus home.
Let's hit it, Joe.
Miller Lite and Brooks & Dunn remind you to please think when you drink, because that's a great sounding combination.
Well, Toronto with a good scoring chance. You're going to see Eastwood walk in all alone. Tries to go in the crook of the arm for Arthur Irbe. Nice save, but a little razzle-dazzle from number 93, Gilmore. He looks up, see Irbe is charging out at him. A little spinorama move, and it just rolls off the toe of his stick. Even though he's got a bad ankle, he did a pretty good job on that spinorama, and he uses a very straight stick, a very flat blade, so he was able to control it most better. Anybody, a Brett Hull or a lot of guys who have a pretty big curve on their stick, that would have rolled off the backhand very much earlier. Gilmore almost pulled off a real highlight film goal.
4-0 Toronto, nearly midway through the third period. Shot from the point through a crowd went wide. It was Gill who took the shot. Ellett kept it in. Centering pass for Clark. And Irbe flashed out the right pad. It was Easter who centered one. And the drive by Gill blocked out of the zone. San Jose started this period trailing by 3. Thought they might turn on the offense a little bit, but they still do not have a shot on goal here in the third. There's the first. Odgers put it on net. Odgers a follow-up, and Potvin made the save.
Good job by Potvin. He's not been tested much. He still looks very sharp mentally. Those were 2 tough saves off of Jeff Odgers. Odgers with a tricky little move coming inside the blue line. He's not known for his great moves, but he gets it by Ellett there. Tries to go upstairs on the initial shot, which was a smart play, and then has the presence of mind to stick with it. He gets right back in front of the net and says, I want another crack at it. He did get one more crack at it. Potvin down on his knees to smother things, and he's still got the shutout going with a little less than 11 minutes to go.
Odgers known more for his work with his fists, and his grandfather was a Canadian Olympic boxer. Last month, Jeff Odgers broke Warren Reichel's nose in a fight at the San Jose Arena. Reichel, a member of the Los Angeles Kings. Felix the Cat. 16 saves and pitching a shutout. And he has a chance at a little history here tonight. Needs one shutout in the playoffs to tie the record for most shutouts in one playoff year. He has 3 already and 3 shutouts in the Chicago series. Should he earn the 4th, that would tie the record for most shutouts in one playoff by a goalie. 6 goaltenders share that, the most recent Ken Dryden in 1977. Turnover, Duchesne, the backhand. Locked down by Potvin and cleared away.
It seems whenever you talk about shutouts, a scoring chance comes up. And Doug Gilmore will be shaking his head at himself there. He just threw that one up the middle, and he knows he doesn't usually make very many mistakes. And I think he had a word for Felix Potvin there, like, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I think he's just breathing a sigh of relief that he didn't break the goose egg for Felix.
Well, we've done a little research, Brian. We talked about your stints in the penalty box here at Maple Leaf Gardens. So we're looking up your career numbers, and we'll share them with the audience. Played in 659 games in the league, almost a penalty minute per game.
I don't know how many were here in Toronto, but
no,
that's not a whole
lot. That's
lot
a lot more than I would have expected from a nice, gentlemanly, mild-mannered, well-bred man such as yourself. That's almost a minute a game. How can you defend yourself?
Well, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing, defending myself.
That's right. That's about 300 2-minute penalties. So obviously there were at least 300 bad calls.
Absolutely. That's pretty good analysis. I like that. We'll
How many of those would have been fighting?
A couple of times a year.
Clark has help. Put it on net. Didn't see Gartner perhaps streaking down the slot uncontested. But Don Koharski certainly saw the slash as Larionov put a 2-hander on one of the Leafs.
Okay, so I tend to put things off. For me, the time just has to be right. Like, I meet this amazing girl, and she's coming over tonight. It's like with Rogaine. I've been meaning to check it out. This is important to me. I've thought about calling lots of times. You know when I called? Today. This was my time.
It could be your time, too. To find out more about Rogaine with minoxidil, call this 800 number now. You'll get a free information kit filled with facts to help answer your questions about Rogaine. And since you need a prescription to get Rogaine, you'll also get a list of local doctors experienced in this kind of treatment. And a certificate worth $10 as an incentive to go. So call today.
Hi.
Hi. Nice place.
Call now 1-800-433-8666 for a free information kit.
Take your pick tomorrow night here on the Deuce at 7:30 Eastern Time. We have Game 3 between the Boston Bruins and the New Jersey Devils. From the Garden, I'll be joined by Joe Micheletti for that broadcast. And on ESPN, it's Game 3 of the Rangers and the Capitals. 7:30 Eastern Time. Rangers lead 2-0 as that series goes to Landover, Maryland. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement with the call on ESPN tomorrow night at 7:30. Mironov, blistering shot turned aside by Irbe. Power play for the Leafs. They have 2 power play goals tonight. Larionov off slashing at 10:06. Toronto, well on its way, it would appear, to evening the series at 1 win apiece. But if you're a Sharks fan, you believe in omens, perhaps there's something positive to take out of this. San Jose won the first game of the series at Detroit, then lost the second game 4-0 to the Red Wings. They won the first game of this series. They're visiting on their opponent's ice, and they're losing 4-0 tonight. Ellen snaps it into the right wing corner. Again, Irbe handles out the play, and Eastwood centers for Clark. Minute 10 left in the Toronto power play. Mironov off to Clark. Now Ellen. Mironov with plenty of room. Again, one of the Sharks does not have a stick. It's Bob Errey. Irbe batted into the air and see it, goal! Irbe couldn't find it. Wendell Clark did. A power play goal, and it's 5-0.
Well, it's been kind of a long night for Arthur Irbe. That's 5-0 now, Toronto. He makes the initial save. The puck goes way up in the air. Irbe loses track of it. He doesn't know where it is. He'll make the save. It'll go up in the air. Off the blocker. There it is. He's looking around. Where did it go? It lands to his left. Look at Irbe. Irbe gone to his right. Where is it? Wendell Clark finds it and jams it into the short side. We'll get a better look at it probably here. Up in the air. And watch Irbe. Where is it? He's over on the right side of the net. Whoops. Clark finds it, throws it up top once again. That's the key. When you get a chance from the goaltender, don't let him get back into it, especially when Irbe is capable of those great saves.
Third goal of the playoffs, first of the series for Wendell Clark. On the power play at 11-11. Assisted by Mironov and Ellen. And the second goal of the series for Clark. And it's 5-0 Toronto. Third power play goal of the night for the Leafs. The best power play in the playoffs coming into tonight's action.
And I think it's pretty typical the way that one happened too. Was Larionov in the penalty box for slashing, a retaliatory penalty. Toronto's been successful tonight in drawing San Jose into these situations, and they're killing them on the power play now.
Let's check in again with Bill Pito. Bill.
Okay, Sean, Vancouver and Dallas. Here we go in the second period. Murray Craven is going to shoot. Andy Moog makes the first save, but the rebound over to Greg Adams. Back to a wide open Murray Craven. He's got a great opportunity, but Moog, the spectacular save. Vancouver, though, still up 2-0 in the second. Sean, back to you.
Wendell Clark's goals made it 5-0 with 8 minutes left. Were I Kevin Constantine, I think I would be considering taking Arturs Irbe out of the net. He's played all but one period of the playoffs. This game is hopelessly lost. He set the record for minutes played during the regular season. Why not a little bit of a breather? Why risk an injury perhaps in the last 8 minutes in a game that's gone?
Well, that's true. There's a point there, but with only 8 minutes to go, too, that's a relatively small amount of time. They probably figured even at 4-0, if we get something going, we might get lucky. Maybe we get back in the game, so he decides to hang in there. And Arthur is going to work for us, that's for sure.
He's faced 33 shots tonight. The shot's 33-17 now in favor of the Maple Leafs. And here's a chance for Andreychuk. The play's onside. He's working on Norton. Irbe poked him. And then Irbe got run over by Big Dave Andreychuk, and the net came free. There's been a lot of debate about the format this year. Series involving the Western teams against teams from the Central. It's a 2-3-2 format. The higher seeded team had its choice of the games 3, 4, and 5 at home, or 1, 2, 6, and 7. And of course, every team's going to pick 1, 2, 6, and 7 if for no other reason than you get the 4 home dates and the home gate. But it does work to the disadvantage of a team like Toronto now. If they lose one of the first two as they have, they run the risk of going to the other team's building, losing all three, and they're out.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you and I talked to some of the Detroit people. They weren't too pleased with the format. They dropped their first game to the San Jose Sharks, and they don't really like the format. It's new this year, and doesn't matter what the sport is, most people don't like change, and we'll see if the change stays in or whether there's going to be a powwow about it in the summer and contemplating another change back to maybe the old way. I don't know.
This should save the team money in travel, and also saves the wear and tear on the players for the coast-to-coast flights. They put the burden on the team with the 4 home games to try to win the first 2. Odgers wound up with a slap shot reflected in the stands with 7:14 remaining. And Toronto with a 5-0 lead. And it does appear that Archer Zerbe will go all the way in net tonight. And that's nothing new for San Jose. He was an all-star for the first time in his career this year. And he's about to suffer his first loss of the 93-94 season, playoffs and regular season against Toronto.
Great save percentage against Toronto, .930. That is tremendous. He also set a new record for minutes played in the NHL this year, 4,412 minutes, 74 games. That was one short of the record. Grant Fuhr played 75 games back in the late 80s.
Very well-read guy is Archer Zerbe, very politically active. He took part in the protests in the streets of Latvia when the Soviet troops occupied his country. Independence for the Baltics. Goodrow off to Jamie Baker. Poked away by Mironov. And carried out of the zone by Pearson. Baker is still hustling, as you might expect. Mironov with Peterson charging at him. Peterson got a stick on it.
I don't think we'll see much more of Larionov or Makarov either for San Jose, and perhaps even Duchesne. Some of the older guys probably need a rest looking down the road. Kevin Constantine, I think, will put them on the bench a little more now.
Zerbe gloves the puck with 6:20 remaining in the third period. The Sharks hopelessly behind now 5-0. And they'll look ahead to the next 3 in their building. And their home crowd is such a lift. We experienced that. We were there for Game 5 of the series with the Red Wings. As a matter of fact, at the last home game of the regular season, after the game ended, game with Edmonton, Kevin Constantine went out to center ice and took a microphone and thanked the sellout crowd, 17,000, for their support all year. He said, particularly when we started out 0-8-1 and you stuck with us, and then we beat Pittsburgh later in the year and you acted as if we won the Stanley Cup. Those are things the team appreciated and will never forget. That is one of the great home ice advantages now in the NHL. The noise in San Jose Arena. 2-line pass whistle and a borderline call.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when you go back to San Jose and see those fans going wild. There's Sandis Ozolin. She's had quite a season. Last year was his rookie year, but he got hurt in December and he had major knee surgery and was finished for the year. This year, second in the NHL among defensemen, 26 goals. The kid has great skills. He was in the All-Star game, and after the All-Star game, he really went to another level and became a great player. His parents came in from Latvia for the All-Star game. They were in New York a day before Sandis got there. They got to the hotel. They only speak a little bit of English. They called Sandis in San Jose and said, we can't order any food. Sandis had to call the hotel in New York, long distance from San Jose, and order room service for his parents.
Hopefully he picked up the tab, too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Peterson, rink wide for Erie. 5:40 remaining, 5-0 in favor of Toronto. Wendell Clark waiting for help as he crosses the line. Eller snaps one off, save Irbe. Norton quickly ahead, too far ahead of Whitney. Icing waved off. Irbe and Ozolin are the 2 Latvians. There are 11 Canadians on the San Jose team, 4 Americans, 3 Russians, 2 Swedes, and 2 Czechs typically in their lineup. So imagine what it sounds like in the locker room with the conversations taking place in various languages.
I'll say, but when they get on the ice, they know what they're doing.
Penalty coming here against Toronto. Potvin has given up a goal on the follow-up. Duchesne scores, and the shutout bid goes by the board. So No tying the record for Felix Potvin for shutouts in the playoffs tonight. Duchesne spoils it with 4:56 remaining.
The Leafs are disgusted with themselves. They wanted that shutout for their goaltender, but a couple of breakdowns. Here's a great chance for Ozolinsh. Duchesne shovels it over to him. Ozolinsh with the initial shot. Excellent save by Potvin, but then on the shot from the bad angle, Duchesne, who had been knocked down, got right up, back onto his feet, and at the bottom of the circle, the puck will come right back to him on the replay. There it is. Duchesne, perfect, and he just threads the needle underneath Potvin, and the shutout has been broken. San Jose's on the board finally.
First goal of the playoffs for Gaetan Duchesne from Ozolinsh and Falloon at 15:04. Was with a delayed penalty upcoming against Toronto. And it's 5-1 with 4.5 minutes remaining. Goodrow tried to cut in and was shut off. Now it's shoveled to goal mouth by Odgers. Goodrow tried to throw it back in front. It deflected to Andreychuk, and he snaps at the length of the ice. And it will be icing as Moore plays it. We'll return for the final 4:19 after this.
Most things in this world aren't big enough to handle 7 feet 2 inches, 310 pounds.
And I ordered the big breakfast.
How does that feel?
Oh, watch your head, Mr. O'Neill.
There is one notable exception. The Big Slam from Pepsi. One ice-cold liter of Pepsi big enough to handle the biggest thirst.
Ain't life grand?
So your little brother's joining us, huh?
He's not so little anymore.
All right, now let's move it! He's what, 19?
Weight setting, 540, F-14.
Jeff's landing planes?
4-gear lens set.
No. $40 million jets.
Today's Navy. High-tech training that takes you only one way. Full speed ahead.
Primary's off. Good job, guys.
You and the Navy!
Jeff?
See? He's not so little anymore.
Full speed ahead.
This is what Bill Berg had to say about his teammate Doug Gilmour in the Toronto Sun recently. People talk about Lemieux and Gretzky, but I don't think you can compare the way they play in both ends of the rink to Doug Gilmour. I think Doug Gilmour is the common man's hero. He's certainly the hero of Don Cherry, the former coach, now popular commentator in Canada. He's very controversial. There's Bill Berg. Gilmour on national TV with Don Cherry last year throughout Canada was kissed by Don Cherry, who we all thought was the ultimate macho man. And he said Gilmour is the best player in the league. There are many who agree with Don Cherry.
You can't go far wrong by saying that, that's for sure. Doug Gilmour is an excellent player. We haven't seen him for the last little while. He had a little over 9 minutes of play in the first period, 7.5 in the second period, 4 minutes and 10 seconds here in this third period. We haven't seen him there.
And there's no reason why we should. Right. This angle such as it is, the score such as it is. 5-1 Toronto, 4 minutes remaining.
He finished with quite a flourish, too, with that goal he scored on a nice play by Elliott.
Goal and 2 assists tonight for Gilmour. Clark and Mironov with a goal and an assist each, and Elliott has 3 assists, facing the Toronto offense. Wendell Clark, the first pick in the entire draft in 1985, was originally a defenseman, who's made the transition to forward, has 208 career goals. That's 10th in Toronto history. The Leafs have had some great players and scorers over the years. Eastwood won the draw back to Elliott. Now Gill into the corner. Ken Hervé comes out. Falloon, leading scorer in San Jose history with 140 points. Duchesne worked it in, and Gill goes back to play. Gill had a big goal in that Chicago series, the game winner in overtime, in game 2 here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Falloon shovels ahead for Duchesne. Now Falloon lost sight of the puck. Falloon is 21 years old. Skating back the other way. Mike Gartner, 5th all time on the NHL goal scoring list. Hervé out to take it away from him. 3:10 remaining. And Norton lays it to Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh in the middle for Baker. Good chance. He put it on net. Potvin made the stop.
Another good chance for San Jose, but again, they come up empty. He was trying to go 5-hole on that shot.
Now Clark a good chance on the feed from Pearson, but Hervé was out aggressively to deny the Leafs. Baker Couldn't poke it through McCowan. Andrechuk indirect for Clark. He was in ahead of the play. Once again, here's Bill Pito.
All right, Sean, Vancouver and Dallas, final seconds of the second period. Pavel Bure beats Darian Hatcher, and then he shoots it past Andy Moog, so Vancouver's up 3-0 after 2. Sean, back to you.
Wow, chance to go up 2-0 for the Canucks with 3 games in a row on their home ice. The Dallas Stars are in big trouble.
Oh, that's for sure. Vancouver with a big advantage. There's the San Jose Sharks, and they're down in this game, but certainly not out. And boy, they have some up-and-coming great prospects in their organization. A couple of big kids on defense. Krupa, Sikora, Rathje in the wings are all about 6'3", and their #1 draft pick from last year, Sean, Victor Kozlov. I saw him for a week. They brought him into San Jose for a week to just kind of get accustomed to things. They're trying to sign him. The kid is 6'5", 210 pounds, unbelievable skills and speed, and he is still growing. Size 11.5 skate, and usually skates are about a size and a half smaller than your shoe size, so that pretty much speaks for itself. He's got to be about a 12.5 or a 13 shooter. The man is huge. You say he's still a kid, and boy, the skill level is phenomenal.
And how quickly the Sharks have put it all together in just their 3rd year as an NHL franchise. Airy snapped off a quick shot wide of the net. Dahlin bumped into the glass by Mironov. Down to 1:50 remaining. Toronto about to even up this series and 1 win apiece. They lead 5-1. Had control of the game throughout. But San Jose, who said they leave here 1-1 when the series started, I think they'll be very happy to take that. Urban flipped it out to the neutral zone. Dahlin took a bump from Berg. Krushelnyski couldn't work it in. Peterson lost the puck to Mironov. Now Berg with some skating room. Andrew from behind by Whitney. One-timer. Good save, Irving. Krushelnyski and a slap shot right on net. 1:10 remaining. Gill with Whitney in the forecheck. Berg let it pass by. Ozolinsh retreats to his own zone. Big Sandis Ozolinsh, 6'2", 205 at age 21. Rink wide pass, play onside. Balloon had it poked away. We're under 1 minute remaining, and those fans who are still in attendance applaud the play of the Leafs. In sharp contrast to 2 nights ago when they booed the team as it left the ice following the 3-2 Game 1 loss. Ozolinsh knocked off the puck by Gardner. The play is offside. Carried back in by Gaetan Duchesne.
Baumgartner and Norton stirring things up, a little pushing and shoving after the whistle, and Baumgartner is not a guy you're going to want to mess with a whole lot. Pretty tough customer, but Norton chose to give him a little shot. Baumgartner, who's had action spread throughout this game, and he gets out there and he has made contact, certainly, as he did in Game 1 before he injured his shoulder. The Leafs are just glad to have him back in the lineup. He's a good guy to have in your lineup in a playoff game.
Coming up next, it's Talk 2, and the guest is Ferdy Pacheco, the fight doctor. That's next on The Deuce. Jim Rome with Ferdy Pacheco. If there are any fisticuffs in that interview, the fight doctor can patch himself and Jim Rome up after they square off.
Participate and then analyze it afterwards.
That's right. Penalties. So Baumgartner and Norton for roughing, 2 minutes each, and with 34 seconds left, they'll head for the dressing room rather than the penalty box. And the teams will play 4-a-side for the final 34 seconds. Baker to take the face-off with Eastwood. And San Jose has managed 20 shots. 9 minutes into the 3rd period before they had their first shot on goal in this session. Eastwood, product of Western Michigan. In honor of our ESPN colleague John Saunders, played for the Broncos. This series is even at 1 win apiece as they head back for 3 straight games in Toronto. In San Jose, pardon me. They played 2 straight here in Toronto. And well-deserved congratulations for Felix Potvin. He made 19 saves, a few of them of the difficult variety.
Pat Burns was an angry man after game 1. And he had pretty good tongue lashing for his Toronto troops after that game 1. You knew they were going to be ready for this game. They took it to San Jose. They took a commanding lead everywhere, every area of the ice. Physically, controlling the play, checking, shots on goal, scoring chances, etc. Toronto pretty much dominated this one. San Jose, it became apparent fairly early on that they were happy to have a split here, as you pointed out earlier, Sean. Now they go home for 3 straight games, but they were a tired-looking crew, I thought, as they went off the ice. And Toronto, everything has swung back in their favor, and they'll be ready to do the same.